I'd like to call to order the Phillipsburg City Council meeting for January 20th, 2020. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a full agenda, and to start it off, we're going to recognize Kaylee Ragsdale. Kaylee is the daughter of Todd and Sarah Ragsdale. She was the North Central Regional winner of the league's If I Were Mayor essay contest. So I'd like to recognize Kaylee with a certificate. She'll be attending the Government Day on Wednesday and presenting her, going to a dinner, as well as being recognized with a $125 check and a plaque Wednesday. So congratulations and thank you for entering, and thank her teacher Dave Hyman as well. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Okay, with that, Angie, you're up.
Where do we go?
You go on the podium here, thank you. She's got it now to where it catches both.
Hi, I'm Angie Wells with Phillipsburg Chamber of Main Street, and I would just first of all like to say, before I ask for your money, that I really appreciate everyone and everything that the city of Phillipsburg does, the city council, the mayor, all the workers. Without it, our city would not be the way it is. So anyway, thank you. Now I'm going to ask for your money. So what we do with Phillipsburg Chamber and Main Street is it's based on employees. So it's just, I don't know how many employees you have, that's up to you to fill out. And then you just, if you decide to join, you just give it back or mail it or try and come get it or whatever.
What have we done in the past?
You have been a large, I believe, 15 to 29 employees.
That's still where we're at.
So I'll let you look at this. This top one. Fill that out. If you have any questions for me?
What's the cost, Lance?
900 for merch.
900 for large.
I think that's, yeah, sounds right.
I make a motion, we have the mayor sign. And
Second.
join.
Mike seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right.
You got our money.
Okay, thank you.
You got the city's money.
Got the city's money. All right.
Thank you for all that you do, Angie.
Thank you. All right, headed to the ballgame. See y'all later.
Lauren Weiner, come on down.
Before this was kind of done to me on a hurry, I'd like to say I've really enjoyed working with the city office and the city council, both personally and for other things, and city offices. But we're having our annual bike show the third week in April, like we've done for some days longer than I want to remember. And I put in for the form for a waiver of fees, and in November, early December, and I was a little disappointed in the 1st of January when I came in because I hadn't heard anything, and I was told that they just put, the one girl just put it back to wait for this new council to come in. Well, that kind of disappointed me because sometimes you need a decision earlier than just waiting for the new council, because therefore in my sarcasm I said, well then why did they have any meetings after the election if you had to wait with anything? So we're still waiting for that answer. But in the meantime, some people, they thought they ought to have a dance after the bike show. Well, after contacting Tim Drake, in his opinion, and a man that helps take care of the building, that building will not support the electricity to do a band. I mean, the wiring, if you've been in it, like up there by the stage, it seems a little antiquated, and he doesn't think it'll pull it, so we're asking to use the armory for a dance afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know from experience when we've been up there, the wiring right along the front of the stage is one wire with the old brown surface mount.
You're talking about the
outlets
community building. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is a stone building, but I'd still hate to burn up the inside of it, you know? You know, I
That's a
mean,
way to do it. I've been looking for a way to do that.
Leave me afterwards and bring your checkbook. Okay? And so just today I turned in the form, 'cause we've never filled out a waiver form for fees. We've never, that's a new item.
Yeah, it's
that I haven't
we've
dealt
done a
with
whole
before.
new process around
Yeah,
it.
because I just usually came to the council and you guys did it.
Yeah.
And so we're also asking that, just to know what our fees are, because that's a basic of what you can afford to do.
Right.
So I guess the reason I went to Lynette in November, and she said, well, I'm not running again, so that's when I brought it on up here. Well, so I didn't know what was going on. So I'm just trying to get maybe an idea of
I'm gonna turn it over to Terry.
an idea of an answer.
Yeah.
Lauren, where it's a nonprofit, you might kind of fill the council in what you do with that money.
The money from the bike show, we have always earmarked that for promoting motorcycle awareness. As more motorcycles get on the road, I don't think there's anybody in this room that doesn't know somebody or more than 5 or 10 people that ride a motorcycle. We're trying to get people aware of it. And one of the big things, we don't do it just in this county, we do it over an area. I'm sure you've all seen the 4x8 signs out along the highway. There's one by Glade, there's one by Smith Center, one by Glade, and all around. And that's one of the big things we do. It's mainly to promote motorcycle awareness. ABATE is a motorcycle rights organization. You think helmet laws at the start, but that's just a very minor part of it. We deal with all facets of motorcycling to help the motorcycling public. We're a registered lobby group in Topeka, Kansas, and like that. So we're a corporation under the corporation laws of the state of Kansas.
Some of your funds have also went to help needy people.
Well,
with medical
our
expenses.
poker, we do a poker run. This will be our 35th poker run this summer, and we've done it for a lot. We try to deal mainly, our main goal, if there's somebody that needs it, we would deal to help somebody with kids. Because my theory is, we've all had our shot in life, folks. We're all getting older, and we've had our shot in kid. If they need a help to get their shot, we could do that. But we've helped different organizations in the state, in the area, like developmental services and things like that. We've been doing that for 34 years. And so
On the deal like this, what we do is, where you're a nonprofit, we waive the fees. But we do ask for a $250 deposit.
Yeah,
For
I
each
saw
building.
that.
For each building.
Well, this was the first time after getting that paper that I'd ever seen figures put down. I didn't know, or maybe that's a new thing, I don't know.
So we've made some changes.
But I'd never seen the figures laid out in front of you. I went, okay, which of these figures are we talking about?
So it should be good then.
Okay,
Yep, very good.
thank you. And that's a $250 deposit on each building,
Each
right?
building, correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
It's up to you, homie.
I mean, that's-
No, that's fine. Fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So after this, then you will, now that Lynette was on it, you'll still have that committee.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it. I mean,
It's facilities committee.
Yeah, that's the word.
Terry was on it, and Terry's gonna chair it from here on out, and Vicky's gonna serve on it as well.
Okay, I just couldn't think of the word facilities.
So he'll be the one that you get hold of, one of these two.
And Mike's in charge of burning it down, right?
No, I suggested that would be great if that happened. I've been praying for a tornado for
As we
years.
get closer, I'll talk to Tim about it, if it's okay with you guys. We usually block off F Street on the south side and
Yeah.
the middle parking and the northbound lane there on 4th Street.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll have to get law enforcement in that as well, so.
Yeah, because we make it a very, it's my rule, and that'll trump anybody's in this case. I will not block the southbound lane, and people say, why? Because the fire trucks need out, fire trucks are getting
Right.
out.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks,
Thanks.
Lauren.
And I'm not used to that name, I'm sorry.
Okay, Bear. Okay, is there any public comment tonight? Okay, let's take a look at the January 6, 2020 minutes. And I'll entertain a motion to approve if any changes.
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes from January 6th, 2020.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Terry seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, January 13, 2020 minutes. In there, pretty short.
I so move we approve January 13th.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Appropriation ordinance number 1055-01-28 in your packet.
What was the Johnson Controls, Tim?
That's actually our ADT system
Oh,
that sends
okay.
out the alerts.
Yeah, okay. And the Hanchett, was that lease on,
That was the crop damage.
on,
Damage
fix
was
that
on
water.
Yeah, okay.
water leak.
I wondered if that wasn't what that was.
Yeah.
And I'd like to add a comment if I could.
Yes.
Included in that is 2 transfers for the year. One for $100,000 to the Phillipsburg Law Enforcement Fund. That's just one of a few that we'll do to pay the law enforcement contract. And then the other one is the Phillipsburg Fire Department transfer from general for $55,000, and that's put in the budget for the annual one. So I just did that first off this year.
Both were in the 2020 budget.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Any other items? Question?
I'd so move to approve appropriation ordinance 1055-01-20A.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, round table. Vicki, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Mike?
Well, I've been gone, so I don't know what's been going on in town, so I can't really say much about anything, but just for your sake, I'm tied. I won't go to Topeka.
You're not going?
I'm not going,
Okay,
so let you know that. But other than that, I don't have anything else.
okay. Terry?
Yes, I do. On January the 10th, the Facilities Committee and Mr. Hammond from the Airport Advisory Board, we interviewed 3 engineering firms on the airport development projects. One of the firms was BG Consultants from Manhattan, and the other one was Balfour Benish and Company, also of Manhattan, and Olson's from Lincoln, Nebraska. We felt that all of them were very qualified to do the job for the city. After interviewing them, it is our recommendation to go with Alfred Benish and Company. Seemed like they'd had already done a little bit of the surveys, the aeronautical survey, they'd already taken care of that last fall, where there's got to be leaves on the trees so they can fly over, and they just seemed like they were ready to go to work for the city of Phillipsburg.
Okay.
That's our recommendation.
How was their fee schedules on each of them?
How'd they compare?
Tim, can you help me out on that one?
During this process with engineering design groups, you cannot talk about fees.
I was gonna say, I was gonna
You just
say.
all qualification-based selection. You don't go into fees until after you start negotiating with a firm based on your recommendation from them. So no money will be talked about until after you select when you try to negotiate a proposal from there. If you find that it's not within your likings, you move on to your second qualified firm.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, no money was talked about. So.
That's fair.
So does your recommendation as the Facilities Committee Chair to recommend Benish?
Yes, Benish, yeah, Alfred Benish and Company.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our recommendation. We just felt like that they'd had knowledge of everything. They'd done a little bit of pre-planning, working with KDOT. They seemed like they had some good communication with KDOT and worked with them, so.
Okay.
All 3 of us we had our, Lynette and I and Mr. Hammond, we all had our paperwork laid on top in order, and was all 3 agreed on it without discussing amongst us.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I guess we all felt the same.
So it was unanimous?
It was unanimous.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion we move forward with the airport committee's recommendation.
I'll second.
Brett seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you for their sitting in on that. I'm sure that was a long process.
Yeah,
Take up an afternoon.
yeah. Good afternoon.
Anything else?
No, I don't.
Okay. Brett?
I really don't have anything tonight.
All right. Pete?
Nor do I.
Tracy?
Not this time.
Scott?
Nothing to report on this evening.
Okay. Scott Ost. I gotta start getting my Scots down here.
Good evening, council members. In your packets, I included the vision document that I've been working on for the last few months. It's been approved by the EDAP committee. It's ready for you to look at and offer any suggestions or changes or whatever you want to do. We can discuss it at a future council meeting whenever you like. It basically lays out the goals and vision and kind of some of the projects that we've been looking at or you've been looking at for as part of the strategic doing initiative stuff. The other things I wanted to point out, the sports complex funds. There's a group of Phillipsburg residents that are in the process of, they raised funds in the past for some soccer fields that didn't come about. They're willing to move that money over to the community foundation for us to use toward the sports complex specifically. And we're going to want to use that, get council permission to use that to start some of the topographical survey work and some project development. We'll bring that to you, I suppose, in another meeting for more discussion and approval. And I think Lance is going to talk about the sports complex later. Is that right?
I wasn't planning on talking about it tonight. Okay. I don't think oh yeah, I am.
That was on there.
Yeah, I do have that on there. Yes.
Also, I started Phillipsburg Vision 2030 Facebook and Twitter pages. They're up and running right now, so go find it on your social media platforms that you use and like it so that we can continue to tell people what's going on. I also wanted to point out we met with the 7th graders in the Phillipsburg High School Student Council in the past couple of months to get some of their input, kind of get them to buy into the whole process of looking ahead, what we're bringing them back to the community after they go to college and get their degrees and start their careers. As far as grants, I applied for a Royals Fields Program grant for the dugout work and field work of the complex and for trails funds through the People for Bikes program. Haven't heard back from either one of them, probably won't until April maybe. But they're small grants. They allow in-kind services for a match and were something I thought we could, low-hanging fruit that we could get pretty easily. As far as what I'm working on now, I'm finalizing a fundraising brochure that I'm going to send out to all the PHS alumni, asking them for money to help support these projects. Also, we're looking to form a committee and organize a community telethon again. Some of you who've been here know what we used to do in the past. So we're going to try to do that again and live stream it through Facebook or whatever and raise money that way. Other than that, you can see the other things we have plans to do this year. If there are any questions or concerns, let me know.
Any questions for Scott?
When do we need to know about moving this money so that you can get going on the design?
I think Kay Willer is in the process of transferring it from whatever bank they're working with to the Community Foundation. I haven't been able to check with her. She wasn't open today. I think she's going to do that probably this week. And if that happens, we could have it on the next council agenda.
So there will be enough money in there to do what you want to do, and it won't involve any city fund?
Correct.
Okay.
It's 7,500, and that's kind of what I was going to bring up,
First.
to do the conceptual design as well as the topographic survey.
Okay.
And that's to get it started. So that's another thing I want to talk about is we got the Vision 2030 fund set up under the Phillips County Community Foundation, okay? So as people donate to that, what role does the council play in spending those funds? Because it's money raised by private, I mean, we're driving the fundraising for it. What role do we play
Well,
in spending it?
still-
I would think it would have to go to ours for approval.
Well, still donated to the city.
Okay.
So any city funds have to be approved through the council. I would think to be legal.
Well, we're taking ownership of the sports complex once it's complete as far as maintenance, so it would be donated to the city, yeah, for sure. And anything that's on our property would be ours as well.
Right.
We're gonna have to get if we do what Hoisington did on the activity center, which is a
Yeah.
joint operation.
Yeah,
I mean, they
keep
both-
in mind though, even if you get something built, who's gonna pay the expenses on it?
Right.
So,
I
to
mean, that's the
me,
one we're
everything
gonna
has to
work-
go through the city.
That's the only one I know we'd have to kind of work
Right.
with the school on how we
Right,
fund that.
yeah.
Do you have anything to add to that, Counselor?
Excuse me.
He was asleep.
Wasn't asleep, I was studying the
Well,
community center.
The question is, if people donate money to the
Community Foundation.
Community Foundation,
So there's a
In lieu of
Vision
the city.
2030 fund with each one of these projects underneath it that they can donate specifically to. So I would think the council would, as we go to each phase as far as paying for it, like if we pay for putting a surface on the walking trail, we would have to, that would come out of that fund or whatever.
Yeah, you'd have to set a budget up on it and then appropriate accordingly, either donations or tax revenue base.
No, there won't be any tax revenue.
Can I add? So money is going to be held with another organization, though, not a foundation within the city's money.
No.
So I wouldn't think we would have a say if it would be the community foundation's
This-
ability
They
to
manage the
control that
money.
money,
Right, if we're not, that's fine, I don't have an issue with that, but if we're not gonna have a say on it, then who's gonna do the repairs on it? Down the line, who's gonna pay the upkeep and the maintenance?
We are.
Then
That's
we
why
need to
I
have a
think we
say
need to
on
have
it.
a
Yeah,
say.
some input with our.
Yeah.
We have to have input on it. And I'll talk to Morris about how that will work with the foundation. I wanted to get your opinions.
Right. I
So
mean-
you're all in favor of helping manage that, right?
I don't see any way we couldn't,
Okay.
because if we don't manage it, could become overwhelming and we don't have the manpower to keep it up
Right.
without hiring more people, and then,
Yeah, most of the time, those kind of projects, that's the cheap part of it, is building it and giving it back. The expensive part comes in later. down the road.
Maintenance on down the road.
The maintenance and the upkeep
Yeah.
down the road. That's where the expense comes, the real expense, I feel, comes in.
So-
I think that's one of the things as we do a project, what's the budget impact going forward on maintenance? It's gotta
Yeah,
be
I
included.
agree. I agree we need to have, with everything that we do, every single project, we need to have a budget, maintenance costs per year on down the line. How many man hours it's gonna take us to maintain it?
Not only that, but we're gonna have to have something in there, a projection as to how we're gonna fund it
Correct. In the future.
in the future.
Yeah.
Yes. A plan.
So, yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've talked to Mike Cower about is if we do a sports complex, more than likely, we'll go to them about getting a recreation committee set up of some sort underneath the school's mill levy. Because it's 4 mills to do a recreation commission.
That's the minimum?
That's the minimum. And their mills are worth like 32,000, ours are worth like 11.
11.
I was just gonna ask what theirs were.
A little over 11.
Because the counties is what, like 55 or
It's more, yeah.
55, 60, something like
Yeah.
that.
But USD 325, I think. And he seemed to be all right with it. When we get to that point, it's down the road a ways, but
Yeah.
that would help on the maintenance side. Okay, thank you, Scott. Okay, so first order of business I have is I want to talk about doing the council president as we do every year, appointing a council president for when I'm out of the town or out of the office or something, or a bus hits me, who would take over as the mayor. So I will entertain any nominations at this point.
I will nominate Mr. Miles as the council president for this next year.
I'll second that. Aren't I good?
Thanks.
Any other nominations? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr.
Unless you
Miles,
didn't
your
speak.
tag, you're it.
Wouldn't have done much good, would it?
No,
Got out of that one, didn't I?
railroaded.
I'd like to appoint Bonnie Leidy as our judge and Scott Sage as our city attorney. They've both accepted that. If I need your approval.
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need you to come up, Scott. We'll do your oath. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of city attorney
and faithfully discharge the duties of city attorney
in the city of Phillipsburg, Kansas.
in the city of Phillipsburg,
So
Kansas.
help me God.
So help me God.
All right. Need you to sign on this
Just in
line
case.
right here.
Just in case.
All right. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
And I've already talked about the sports complex update, so we'll get that, as soon as that money's moved over, I'll bring it up at the next meeting about whether we want to spend the $7,500 on going forward with Driggs Design on the, and that was the one that was selected by the Sports Complex Committee.
Right.
On going forward with the topographical survey and the concept design plan, I think is what it's called.
Lance, do you think it would be a good idea to construct a sign up there at this location, you know, like future site?
Future, yeah.
So people will see, you know, just because I know you can kind of tell where it's at, but,
Yep.
you know, when you're
Future
driving
home
by.
of Albert and the
Yeah,
Morgan
yeah.
Sports Complex.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. We can approach Sign Solutions about making a banner like we have
And
around
just
town.
make it out of 4x4s and plywood. Yeah.
Yep, good idea. Okay, also need to select an official city newspaper.
I make a motion, we stay with the review.
I will second that.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Phillips County Review. Let's take a look at the flag display dates. That's been brought up today. And an individual was wanting to know why we weren't flying them for Martin Luther King Day. So in your packet, on page 56, are the current observed flag holidays and events. We also fly it during Riverless Festival as well as the fair/rodeo week. On the page 57 is what was found on us.gov. Okay? Martin Luther King is listed there. There's a lot of them listed there. Okay, Constitution Day, which if somebody can tell me when that is, I will.
September 17th.
You saw it on the next
That's
page.
what it says on it.
So on the next page is another one off valleyforgeflag.com, and it has some other days as well. I was surprised to find that Patriot Day was not listed amongst you on the us.gov, which is September 11th. So what I would like, if there's any that we want to add to the current one, or if you want to, I think all of those are good ones. Do we want to add any Tim and I had a little discussion, you know, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, those are more like holidays versus something patriotic.
Special.
Armed Forces Day, I would suggest, we already have President's Day, and then Martin Luther King Day. Those are the two that I would like to see, are those two, Armed Forces Day and Martin Luther King Day. But I leave that up, I don't vote.
I don't have a problem with either one of
I don't
those.
either.
I just don't want to get as many as what the feds do, because it's really not going to be special when flags are up.
No,
So,
and I think if we do Armed Forces Day itself, it encompasses a great deal of the separate
Other
things that
stuff,
are
yeah.
here.
Because it's kind of a time-consuming
yeah, it's,
for the city employees. to
how long
put
does
these
it
flags
take to
out.
do that, Tim, each time?
It takes you about 45 minutes to an hour to take them up, and another hour, 45 minutes roughly.
How
to
many,
take them down and put them away.
two guys?
2 guys, and most of the time you have to bring a guy in on overtime or extended pay to do that.
Well, didn't we talk about where we got the other flags? Didn't we talk about leaving them up because they were lit?
That is an option you have available to you on the
Because
poles that have lights.
That's what I meant.
You know, a lot of places have different ways of doing it, but we can do it however the council wishes for us to have them displayed.
I agree with the fact that I don't believe we should leave them up year-round.
I kind of like the way we do it now.
Because, just like you said, it
You get used to them being.
doesn't signify a day if they're
Yeah.
up all
Yeah.
year round. I mean, as patriotic as any of the rest of you are, but. Have we got the new all-weather flags
We
yet?
have not received them yet.
Armed Forces Day and Martin Luther King.
So we're gonna add Martin Luther King and Armed Forces.
So I need a motion to keep what we have and add those two, and then
Also moved for our current list and Martin Luther King and Armed Forces Day.
I
Have a sec-
second.
Tracy seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Let's see. Tim, you're up.
Keep mine pretty short this evening. I apologize that my information is not in the packet this evening. Just a reminder, next Monday and Tuesday I'll be with the legislators on Kansas Water Authority. Just an update, the AMR project, which is our auto read meters, started last Monday. They are aggressively going at it, so they got from State Street south, first, second, and third was all done between basically Monday afternoon and Thursday morning. So they made pretty good progress.
How many installers do we have out there, Tim?
I believe they have 3 different groups out there.
Okay.
So far things are going pretty good. They've had a couple little things they're working through, but nothing major. Couple other things we did last week. One, we had a new service installed on 2nd Street on the 100 block. We also had a water leak at Tracy's house this last week that we had to fix on last Thursday. So, which is I'm pretty pleased with, because if you look at our surrounding communities, they're suffering from water leaks right now because of the cold weather. So we've been very fortunate. Let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah. Not coming here.
Crews have been busy. We had a little bit of snow and ice we've been dealing with. The ice is a continuous problem downtown. We get it thawed out for the day and it freezes back at night. So we'll continue to keep putting snow, our ice melt and sand down there to add some traction. But it's an ongoing problem for us right now.
Are we putting any sand on the, that'd be the north side of the, where West Ridge is, where the dentist, okay.
We actually ran 2 full passes on each side of the road there on all of downtown to try to give them the extra traction.
Extra
because
traction to get away
with
from
the
curb.
amount of moisture we received and the way it came down, we knew it was going to freeze up. But like I said, we can thaw it out, but
Yeah.
with single-digit temperatures, it's going to freeze back up on us later on. I met with Lance and part of the walking trail committee and the park committee a week ago Thursday, was it? I believe it was. They had asked me to go see the county commissioners, so this morning I went and met the county commissioners. They have agreed to allow us to take and put 2 entrances onto Park Lane Road. One will be for the campground, so that we have an entrance onto Park Lane Road. That is the very far west side of our campground. The other will be to extend the road from the arena area that currently goes up there into the campground, will extend straight out onto Park Lane Road. This provides a number of things that are good for us. One, that bridge was never built and designed for the type of vehicles and stuff that's going across it now. These horse trailers keep getting bigger, heavier. These RVs keep getting bigger and heavier, and they're trying to make those corners. So I think this will provide a much safer route in and out of the horse arena and campground for us. This will also work into the plans with the walking trail. We will probably most likely turn that bridge into a pedestrian style bridge where you can take a golf cart, stuff like that across it, but try to limit vehicle traffic across there so people use the west entrances as we've designed it for it. So this spring we'll be putting those in and putting no parking signs out along Park Lane Road out there so people don't congest it with parking out there and make it so it's just basically impassable for people to get through there. So I was very pleased with that today. Crews have also been working getting all the Christmas lights, wreaths, and angels down, put away for the year. They've got that completed. The last council meeting we talked briefly about some of the vehicles that were, at that point in time, were broke down. One vehicle in particular we talked about was the water plant vehicle. It is a 2006, I believe, gray Dodge single cab. This vehicle is my understanding when we purchased it had been wrecked, and we have spent a lot of time and money over the years trying to keep that thing up and running and functional. It is scheduled in the 2020 to be replaced, and I have found a couple of vehicles that I would like to go look at and get that vehicle replaced before we spend a whole lot more money on it.
What range are you looking at as far as spending?
What was budgeted was about $25,000 to find a suitable replacement. That replacement will be an extended cab, 4-wheel drive pickup, just gonna be a half ton. I don't need anything bigger than that. I don't need fancy, just need.
That's gonna get you about a 2016, 15.
I found a 17 full-size Ford extended cab in Colby, and I've also found a extended cab 4-wheel drive Colorado that I'd like to look at both. I can get Tommy lifts on both vehicles, and the water plant staff is a little hesitant to try the Colorado, but I think it's something we should look at. It gets a lot better gas mileage than the one we got. The one we got right now is getting 9, 10. I mean, it gets horrible mileage, and it gets driven 7 days a week.
Have you contacted our local dealer?
I have. DC is also looking for vehicles on the auctions. Unfortunately, with the extended cab that we're looking for, Dodge does not sell the extended cab version. Everything is 4-door. Really don't need a 4-door, but if we found one reasonable that was fit our needs, we would look at it. So he was going to look around a little bit for it as well. You know, when we had that vehicle looked at here a couple of weeks ago, I had one mechanic tell me the engine was shot. And when we took it down to a different mechanic, and they had it up and running within 20 minutes, and it's been running ever since. So I don't want to press our luck on this vehicle any longer than we have to, so if it's scheduled to be replaced this year, it would be wise for us to go ahead and get it while we still have a trade.
What would be your plans for that vehicle once it's retired?
We will trade it in.
Oh, you will trade it? They will take the trade in? Okay.
I'd like to get the trade on it because we're not going to get any money out of it. So,
okay.
So that would be my recommendation to you, unless you guys have objections.
What kind of value is?
Anywhere from $3 to $5 grand is what you're going to get for value out of it, depending on, according to Kelley Blue Book.
Okay.
Questions? Any objections to us moving forward as it was budgeted?
I'd say get rid of it while it's running.
City office update, just kind of give everybody an idea where we're at. So we're in week 2 of renovations upstairs. Things are a mess. We've got, I would say, probably 65% of the drywall is up. Probably 65–70% of the electrical work and IT work has been done. I would my guess is by this Friday I'll have most of the drywall up and we'll be ready to start taping and buttoning. My carpet has been back ordered. It will not be here till the 31st is when it's supposed to ship. So that gives me an extra week to finish with the texturing and patching and getting everything set and painted. As soon as it gets here, I'd like to get the carpet in. So I'm looking for about the first week of February to have a majority of the upstairs painted, start working on flooring. Once we get that area complete up there, we will move into the hallway and get the ADA bathrooms completed and try to wrap this thing up. So I think we're still well within our timeline of being done by the end of February, and things are moving well. The guys are doing well. So, any questions on that project?
How you doing on cost?
So far, we're doing very well. We've had a couple things that have come in a little bit more. We've had a couple things we've added that were not in the original. Some of our camera systems, which unfortunately are not up and running yet, the mounts will be here tomorrow for those new cameras. We have them all wired and the computer and everything here is set to run them. They're working very well as far as the quality. Our cables for the microphones are supposed to be here Thursday, so we should be able to get all that stuff wrapped up, and we're very hopeful the next meeting we are using our new cameras and microphones. So there's been a couple things that we've changed a little bit, but we've also deleted a few things that cut some cost. One of the costs that is out particular is we didn't originally look at, when we looked at the conference rooms, we didn't look at the chairs. And you were able to assist us getting some decent used chairs. Things like that are just a couple things that'll pop up here and there, but for the most part, I'd say we're less than 0.5% difference in budget right now. So okay. I think we're very well on that.
So let me make a comment. You guys had voted, made a motion for me to write a letter to or send a letter to the commissioners. I'm waiting for the ADA compliant bathrooms before I send that.
So
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Last thing I'd like to put out there, just one of our improvements that we're making is, and I want to make sure the public's aware of, is our new phone system. So our new phone system has the ability to have voicemail. So if you have a concern out there or something after hours, please contact us, don't just wait. We did have a resident last week that while doing her meter project, they just missed getting her turned back on. She waited all night to the middle part of the morning before she contacted us. You know, the water plant has got somebody there 24/7. That number, you know, 543-5023 is an easy number to get a hold of people for any reason. If it's something they can't handle, they will contact me immediately and we will get out to you. But there's no sense waiting on stuff like that. Once our phone system here is complete, the way the options are set in our voicemail is if you send a message that'll come towards me, it's supposed to ring to my cell phone so you can contact me about any point in time and I can help you out with whatever you need. Staff is readily available to help any of our customers when we need to be, and we want to make sure that's well known to our customers. So other than that, that's all I have for you unless you have any questions for me.
Okay, thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Tiffany.
I just wanted to give you an update on our Cassell program. Brandy, the utility billing clerk, and I spent 4 half days in the last 2 weeks doing training, learning the utility system with our current city data in it to see how it relates, and we found some areas that they need to correct and make it parallel to how we do things. So that's good, they're working on that. And then we've been given homework to do to practice, you know, putting new people in and filing them out and entering meter reads, those kind of things. We're supposed to do that by Thursday of this week. And then the next step is Cassell will take our data again. Last time it was in October. They'll take current data, the new billings and reads, put it back into Cassell and create billings again. And if everything looks good, we'll what they call go live, to where anything after that we'll have to put into Cassell directly, any new customers or information, and keep it up to date. So we're moving forward, and also it's been pretty good timing with the meter reads, the new meters going in this week. Some of the meters were going in as we were doing readings, so we were able to get data from the new meters and the old meters and put that in. We're working on getting that completed, and so Cassell, the new meters will go directly into Cassell. They'll bypass our old programs,
So then the meters that are being put in are actually live once they
No.
put them in?
No, they've given us an Excel document that says, you know, the old meter, new meter,
Okay,
and the
okay,
readings.
okay.
We don't have ability yet to get the electronic data to our computers yet. All
Okay.
that's not
That's-
installed. but-
Yeah, I misunderstood that, yeah.
So there was a few meters, one book that the guys didn't have to read all of it, so. but- And that's all I had with the Cassell. In your packet is the year-end reports, the cash balance, the revenue report, and expenditure reports, and investment report.
So your help during break completed, she's done, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I had Liz Leidig come over winter break. She's a college student and did quite a bit of shredding for us and helped in different
Do
ways.
you have any percentage of what you got through as far as did we make a dent?
A tiny dent. She kept a list. I haven't totaled the amount of boxes yet, but
Okay,
um,
okay. Do keep
There's-
stats though on what we destroy,
yes.
so we know.
I had her make a list of all the documents and years that we shred, and
Okay.
she was gonna count the boxes, but things went fast. We've had a lot going on, so.
Did you find the new records management document beneficial as far as being able to follow it?
Really, there was only about a couple things that I pulled for her.
Okay,
Um,
we have that
like
many of
util-
them?
Yeah.
Okay,
I just kind of picked a couple of items and pulled several years of that that's been way overdue to shred, and
Okay.
that's pretty much all we did.
okay. Anything else for Tiff? All right, thank you. Any other items that we need to discuss tonight? With that, I would entertain I think you're sitting in hot seat for the adjournment, motion to adjourn.
Yeah, it's always the front of the table.
Okay, I move that we adjourn.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you.